So you're planning a move, right? And there's that one big question looming over your head. How much is this really going to cost me? Well, in this explainer, we're going to completely demystify that process for you and show you how to get an accurate and honestly stress-free moving estimate.
And to really dig into this, we're going to look at how the pros do it. We're talking about Fast Track Movers, a local company in Fresno and Clovis that's really built their name on a transparent and professional experience. From that very first phone call to the very last box being set down.
Yep, there it is. The number one question. Every single person asks this when they're moving. It's the most important piece of the whole puzzle, isn't it? But as you might have found out, getting a straight answer can feel surprisingly tough.
And we totally get it that frustration is absolutely real. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to show you exactly why getting that quote can be so tricky, and more importantly, how you can actually take control of the entire process.
All right, first things first, let's bust the biggest myth out there. This idea that you can get a perfect, exact quote right over the phone. Here's why that whole approach is pretty much built on guesswork, not facts.
This slide just hits the nail on the head, right? You might say over the phone, oh, I've got a few boxes, but the on-site reality? It's 35 boxes plus a ton of bulky, loose items. Or how about the access is pretty good, which can easily mean a super long walk and 3 flights of stairs. Look, this isn't about anyone being deceptive. It's just about the hidden details that can really inflate the time and the final cost.
Here's the bottom line. In the moving industry, time is literally money. And every single one of these things, the real number of boxes, how far the truck is from your door, how ready you are when the crew shows up, all of that adds time to the job. And these are all things that are just impossible to see through a phone call.
And this really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? A reputable mover's goal should never be to just give you some lowball guess to get your business. It should be about building an estimate based on real information. Respecting your time and your budget right from the start.
Okay, so if guesswork is the problem, what's the fix? Well, it's a clear, simple process that's actually designed for accuracy. Let's walk through how to build a reliable plan for your move.
Here it is. This is the exact path to getting an estimate you can actually trust. It kicks off with a quick call, just to get the basics. Right then, we can give you a general ballpark range. From there, you send us an inventory list and maybe a few photos so we can really see what we're working with. And then we build real, concrete options that fit your budget. The key here, no surprises.
Okay, now for the really cool part. The part you might not have even thought about. You actually have a surprising amount of control over the final cost. And I'm not just talking about the hourly rate. I'm talking about how we can work together to make your move way more efficient.
Want to know the number one, absolute biggest way to control your moving costs? It all comes down to preparation. Seriously, the difference between a home that's a bit chaotic and one that is packed up and ready to go can save you hours, and that means real money back in your pocket. Just think about it like this. Every minute the crew has to spend packing some random loose item or clearing a path to get furniture out, well, that's a minute you're paying for. A home that's ready to load means the team can just get right to it, moving efficiently and safely.
All right, here's tip number 2 for saving some serious cash. This one happens at your new place, during the unload. You get to decide exactly how much work you want the movers to do after that truck is empty.
We call this a centralized unload, and it's super simple. Instead of the crew running around to every single room, placing each box and piece of furniture exactly where it goes, we can put everything in one designated area, like the garage or the living room. This shaves a ton of time off the clock and lets you handle the final organizing at your own pace.
And look, if you want to maximize your savings, there's another powerful option: providing your own truck. If you're comfortable with the driving part, this can be a real game changer.
So here's how a labor-only move works. You handle renting the truck, the gas, the insurance, all that stuff. And what do we handle? The really hard part, the professional muscle, and more importantly, the expertise to load and unload everything safely and stack it perfectly to maximize space. You're basically paying for the skill, not the vehicle.
Seriously, it's that easy. If this is the route you want to go, just say those magic words. We'll build the quote specifically for labor-only services, and you'll be able to see the savings crystal clear.
All right, let's put all the pieces together. You know why those instant phone quotes are so risky, you know the awesome ways you can control the cost, and you know the process. So let's talk about what happens when you actually make that first call.
When you do reach out, here's exactly what you can expect. No guesswork. We'll ask a few basic questions about your home, your move, that kind of thing.
We'll give you that initial ballpark range right away, and then we'll guide you on sending over the details we need to lock in a reliable plan with clear, budget-friendly options.
At the end of the day, a good move is all about trust, right? It's about combining transparent pricing with the 5-star reputation so you can feel totally confident and in control from that first call all the way to that very last box.
So, it all comes down to this. Now that you know exactly how the process works and how much control you truly have, are you ready for a move where you're in charge, with absolutely no financial surprises waiting for you at the finish line?